There we go. Okay, so we're going to keep things very mellow today. I personally have been navigating some difficult days and checking in with a few other people. I know some other people have been having some difficult days as well, some heaviness, some anxiety, some depression. Um, if you're feeling great, that's wonderful. We're very happy for you. If you've been feeling a little bit down, the current state of world affairs is pretty upsetting. And then, on personal levels, there's been some things happening as well. So, because of that, the intention for today is to be very slow and mindful and kind to ourselves. Um, Seeing if we can hold ourselves in some love and some compassion, despite how we might be feeling or what we might be going through. So, the actual practice will be really slow and simple. And the intention is to treat ourselves very, very tenderly. So let's go ahead and get situated. So, whatever that looks like for you, the practice today, you could do it lying down. So, if that feels more beneficial in your body and in your system, then you're welcome to lie down for the practice. If you'll be seated, take a moment and come into a comfortable seat. And if you have to make any little adjustments, go ahead and do that. Do what you need to do. And as always, give yourself permission to adjust, to change throughout the practice. So if something is not serving you and you thought it was going to, you're welcome to make adjustments. Sometimes we need to give ourselves permission to make changes, even when they're beneficial changes. Sometimes we need other people to give us that permission. So I'm giving you permission to make changes. So if it's available to you this morning, you can close the eyes. If the eyes are not wanting to close just yet, if they don't want to close at all, that's okay. They can stay open. You might just pick one thing to look at if the eyes want to stay open. Maybe you try to look at the tip of your nose. Maybe there's something just in front of you on the ground. If you're lying down, you might pick a point on the ceiling. And we'll start to just do our best here to take the awareness to our inner world. Just checking in with any feelings or sensations in the body. So sometimes we try very hard to name an emotion. And there's some experiences, some sensations in the body, some emotions that don't really match to words. So let's just take a few moments here and let's just see if we can feel any emotions, any sensations in the body. And if it's possible, let's not name them. If the mind wants to assign a name, that's okay. See if you can keep it a little more in the body. And as you do this, as you scan the physical body for any sensations, you might feel the need to move a little bit. The sensation presents as soreness, stiffness. So you're welcome to move. You're welcome to listen to the body. Maybe it's some fluttering in the chest, and it might feel good to place a hand there. It could be discomfort in the belly or the low abdomen. It might be tightness. It could be pain, physical pain, right? The emotions and the fluctuations of the mind, they don't stay in one place. They move through the body. We get angry and we feel ourselves tense up. We get sad and we feel ourselves shrink in on ourselves. So just taking a little bit of time here to let anything move if it's presenting itself. So for the breathing practice that we'll do, we'll very simply be taking 10 rounds of intentional, slow breath. Now, that might sound simple, but when the mind is being very active, when the mind is jumping to the future and creating stories and scenarios that haven't happened yet, or the mind is dwelling in the past and we're replaying traumatic events or things that went away we wish they hadn't, it can be very challenging to take 10 full, intentional, slow breaths. So we'll use our fingers to help us count, to do our best to stay on point. Or if you have a japa mala and you'd prefer to use the beads of a necklace, you can use that as well. So if you'd like to use your fingers and you need to watch what I'm going to explain, then you can watch. But we'll start with Gyan Mudra. So thumb and pointer finger touching. And I have my hands up here so you can see them, but I'll be doing this with my hands in my lap, on my thighs, but just to demonstrate. So our first round of breath is just tapping on, you can start on the right or left hand with 1. Fully in, fully out. Then we'll move pointer or middle and thumb, 2. 3, 4, 5, and then we switch hands. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we start with Gyan Mudra, we end with Gyan Mudra, and we just tap the fingers to count. This way we don't get lost. So something physical to anchor us, as well as the mental count. Again, if you're using your beads, we'll just be doing 10 intentional slow breaths. Nothing to the breaths. We'll do another round and we'll add in another layer. This first one is just breathing in, breathing out, seeing if we can slow down, seeing if we can get the thoughts to quiet, any fluttering in the body to settle. And it might be challenging, depending on what your life curriculum is right now. 10 slow, mindful breaths can be asking a lot. So again, if you feel great and this is simple for you, wonderful. If this is very challenging for you, it's okay. You are not alone. We're going to just do our best. So, if you open the eyes to watch, you can close the eyes back down. You can take the hands into Gyan Mudra. So, starting with thumb and pointer finger touching. I will guide the first few rounds of breath, and then I will fade away, and you will continue the count using whichever tool you're using on your own. We'll all finish around the same time, but this is a bit more of a solitary practice. So coming into the tool and the shape that you're going to use, let's start with an exhale here. We'll start all together. So empty all the way out, empty down, and begin. Inhale, fill up through the nose, nice and slow. Exhale completely through the nose, nice, slow, intentional. That's one. Two, inhale through the nose, fill up. Exhale intentionally, calmly, mindfully through the nose, empty all the way out. Three, inhale through the nose, fill up. Exhale, empty all the way down as much as you can. Four, keep going now on your own count. When you finish, take your time. If you are still in your counts, take your time. Don't rush. Whenever you finish, just come into subtle breath. Let the breath be a little more shallow, just flowing on its own. No effort, no force. You're welcome to keep the hands in Gyan Mudra. And take an honest inventory of how that was for you. Were you able to stay with the counts? Was the mind active and jumping and getting off task? And if so, can you accept that and love that part of yourself? Come back to scan the physical body, just being aware and noticing again if there's any sensation. We don't have to name it, but it might be an emotion playing out on the physical plane. Just a reminder that you have the permission and the option to adjust. We'll do another round of 10 slow, intentional, meaningful breaths. And this time we'll layer in Brahmari breath on the exhale. So this might take you longer to complete as Brahmari slows us down even more. If you are having trouble with the count, something that works for me is just to repeat the number of the breath that I am on the entire time. So I say 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 as I inhale, and I say 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 as I exhale. So you might internally say this to yourself if you're getting lost in your counts. If you're able to count without that, then that's wonderful. So we'll use Brahmari breath, honeybee breath. That's the hum as we exhale. And again, 10 rounds. So you can use the fingers and Gyan Mudra to keep the counts. You can use Japamala beads, or if you have another way that counting is working for you, then you're welcome to use that. So you'll hear my Brahmari hum, but go at your own pace, okay? So we'll start with an exhale. Let's empty all the way out. Inhale, fill up to begin for round one. If you are still working in your 10 rounds, take your time. When you finish, come into subtle breath. Letting that internal vibration wash over you. Take another moment here to check in with yourself on how that was for you to keep the count, to stay focused, to notice what the mind did during the practice. For the last few moments here, I want to share a quote that a friend shared with me this morning. Half of life is lost in charming others. The other half is lost in going through anxieties caused by others. Leave this play. You have played enough. Taking a few more moments here to come back into ourselves. To allow ourselves to be human, to be messy. To hold ourselves with compassion. To give ourselves permission to change, to shift, to make mistakes. To lose ourselves, to find ourselves. As you're ready here, if you want to stay in silence, if you want to keep your eyes closed, you're welcome to log off and do so. If you'd like to come back, then as you're ready, you can start to invite some gentle movement in the body, maybe rocking the head side to side. Maybe making fists with the hands and then spreading the fingers. The eyes can stay closed as the movement starts, or the eyes can open whenever they're ready. Maybe taking some deep breaths. Coming back into this present moment. Seeing if we can do our best throughout the rest of today. Coming back to that quote, half of life is lost in charming others. The other half is lost in going through anxieties caused by others. So the intention for today, leave this play. You have played enough. So thank you all for being here, for joining me, for putting in the effort, for taking some time for yourself. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. And see you next Sunday if I don't see you before then. Sending you all a lot of love.